Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. My voice sounds not so good, but it's not serious. I feel like I've been dealing with some major allergy related stuff over the weekend. My nose has just felt like so tickly and I can't stop sneezing and rubbing it, and it's so much fun. But while I was dealing with that, I was up here in my makeup room and I did manage to find some time to do a little decluttering, get rid of some things, really a ton of things. For example, I'm basically cutting my lip product collection in half, if not a little bit more. But as I've gone through things, I've picked out some products where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot about that. I think so many times with declutters, we focus big time on the things that weren't good enough, that we're getting rid of. You know, I did that recently in a video where I talked about whether I just didn't like it, I wasn't using it, or it was too old. And we really address those factors. But sometimes through a decluttering process, what's revealed are definitely some of those things that you just forgot about, but are really interesting, and maybe things that need to be brought back in a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to touch on today. It's not like a full face get ready with me of things like that, because that's just not how it happened. I don't have like one thing for every step of my makeup. It's just really random, a lot of palettes, it's just some different things, you'll see. First off, I do want to mention a couple of foundations that really struck me this way, like, no, I'm definitely not going to declutter them, and they're not super old, but they're kind of like things I want to get reacquainted with. One of them is my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Treatment Makeup. This is really good stuff. Like, it looks really natural on the skin, and I think it can really hang with some of those different, like, maybe BB cream type products, different high-end things that I've really been liking lately that just look so effortless and really nice on the skin. Just a really healthy effect, you know, but not super high coverage. So I really want to dive into this some more. And also, I'm wearing this one today, but I want to know who out there is still a big fan of L'Oreal True Match, because this, you know, it wasn't that long ago that they sent out like a PR mailer with a bunch of shades of this and some concealers and all different things. I'm wearing it today in the shade Creamy Natural C3. It's in the Cool family, and it seems like a really good shade for me. It seems like a real medium coverage, kind of on the lighter end of medium coverage actually, but I want to know who's using and loving that. And those are just a couple of things where I was like, no, I don't want to get rid of those just because I haven't used them a lot. Instead of using that as a reason to toss them, it's actually giving me a reason to dive back in and kind of get reacquainted, you know? Also, oh my gosh, this concealer from Amazing Cosmetics, it's called the Amazing Concealer Hydrate. I remember talking about this. I've got it in the shade Light Golden. This is a spectacular stick concealer. I've got it on today, this and this alone. I love the texture. It's just so creamy, but not sticky, and it doesn't come off too like shiny on the skin, but incredibly hydrating. So it's just really cool to see that in that stick format. I love the packaging too. So happy to kind of pull that back into the routine. Let's just try to pull out some different loose products here before I get into palettes and stuff. Oh, my lip product today, these Bonjour Creamy Lip Stains. I remember raving on these, and where have they been now? I'm wearing this shade today. It's the one called Hello, and it goes on feeling kind of like a gloss, but you get a really nice, like even, fully opaque color, and once the gloss wears away, you've got like gorgeous color for quite some time. It's not like that new Urban Decay thing where it really was doing something strange in that you could put it on and it had a glossy look on your lips, but it wouldn't transfer off. This, you know, if it's looking shiny, you're probably going to have some color transfer off, but as a whole, as you wear it, it is kind of staining your lips, and I love that feature. I love this shade in particular. I think that's so pretty, and again, that's called Hello. I also dug up this thing from Charlotte Tilbury. I remember getting this and also a certain shade of lip liner when I was doing a video on different Charlotte Tilbury products. I remember the look exactly. It was something I saw happen on Instagram, and this girl looked like an absolute goddess. I should link to the video below where I tried to recreate that and also came up with some dupe type ideas. But to do that look and to get some of the things that were actually used, I got the Lip Cheat in Super Size Me, which this is kind of like a dusty berry type of color. Really smooth. Like, I like the formula of these lip pencils. I'm not going to say that they're all 100% like you need to spend that money to get a lip liner, but that's a nice one. And then this gloss type deal. I can't even remember what this was specifically called, but the shade is Rosy Glow. I think it was Collagen something, and it's got this like sort of heart-shaped applicator. It's pretty sheer. It gives you just this soft rosy color, maybe just a hint of like iridescence in there. There's a very fine like sheen and shift to the color. I don't really remember being over the moon moon in love with those products, but it's kind of something where, okay, I spent the money on that. I need to use that. I need to pull that out again. I also remember like enjoying a red lip liner from NARS. I think it was this one called Holy Red, where I would just put this on. I would pop a lip balm on first to make the glide really nice, and then pop on just any kind of lip liner. And this one I remember specifically using. And then you get this beautiful like kind of blotted lip look, you know. You've got that matte color all over, but it looks kind of light, kind of effortless. This is a really pretty shade of red, so I thought I want to use that some more. I got rid of a lot of lip liners overall though. Oh, another thing that I just don't want to pass me by are my Milani Keep It Full lip plumpers. Love these. I've got a couple of the creamy shades that don't have shimmer, although there are some nice shimmery ones too. I kind of think of these as like a drugstore alternative to Buxom, really, because they do have some of these creamy colors that are surprisingly opaque, and then they've got quite a few that have that sheen. But I've got Soft Rose here, which is a really pretty nude gloss. I love how full colored that is. It's not streaky at all. And they've got this really nice like minty scent, kind of mint chocolate type deal. Same with the balm. Those also have a thin mint kind of scent. Or like I've said before, Orbit's Sweet Mint Gum with these. And then I also have the shade called Blush that I pulled out. But I've got many more and I just really like these. I love how pillowy they make the lips look. You know, these are just straight up pigmented, creamy glosses. You can put them all over the lips. You've got beautiful color, but you don't see lines in your lips. They're very refreshing and cooling. I love everything about those glosses. Another thing here that I ran into, and I'm not really sure what the heck this exactly is. It's from Bare Minerals. It's in the shade called Crave, and I don't know if it's one of like, maybe it's called a Gin Nude lipstick or something. This is what the packaging is like, and I popped this on the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, why am I not getting use out of this? I don't know if I got this in some kind of sampler or whatever, but it's like really creamy. It feels like lip balm. The shade would be beautiful for spring with that soft kind of nice warm pink color, but I could only find one of these in my collection. I'm not sure like when it all happened, but I want to use that. Ooh, another great creamy lipstick find. I really liked this color for quite some time. It's called Italian Rose, and it's the creamy lip color from Bobbi Brown. And this is one where I looked at it and I was like, you've used up so much of it, like the product was way down there in the tube. And I swatch it, and yes, it's so creamy. It's got kind of like a little thickness to it. It's not greasy at all. It has a pretty shine on the lips. Sort of reminds me of the L'Oreal Color Riche, but this shade has got to be like the epitome of Dusty Rose, right? So I wanted to definitely get some use out of that again. But it's been so long for some of these things. I just can't believe it. Oh, okay, from Thrive. This was kind of like my gateway into realizing just how much I love a beautiful glowy blush. This is the Thrive blush. It's called Multidimensional Strobing Blush, and it's the shade called Rosy. And if you look up close at it, you can kind of see how, yes, it has the pigment of a blush, but throughout it's got like these speckles. It's like a speckled egg. I'm still on Easter mode in my mind, and so it's very much infused with a highlighter look. No sparkle, nothing glittery, but just a glow that comes across the skin. In fact, that kind of makes me want to throw it on top of whatever I've got on right now. Just a really pretty kind of one-step blush and highlighter all together. It's super radiant. This color is very youthful. Something about the coolness of that pink. It always makes me feel that way whenever I've got a color like that going on. But isn't that so super radiant? And it was like from this, it caused me to look through my collection at that time, really rediscover so many other glowy blushes. And then I remember coming into my Beauty Bakery Cotton Candy Champagne palette. So this was sort of the catalyst for that movement in my collection. Going through eyeshadows, I kind of rediscovered these. Hold on, I'm about to drop everything. These from LA Colors, these duotone eyeshadows that are wonderfully pigmented. I remember doing the whole video on these. I pulled out a few that I thought might make for some really easy like day-to-day looks. They're so creamy, like they're an exceptionally nice texture that could totally hang with your high-end products. This is the duo called Lingerie, and I feel like that would be great for just a basic nude eye, like just a naturally contoured eye, you know what I mean? And then here's one that has like a matte creamy shade and then a shimmery kind of, I don't know, is it rose gold, is it taupe? Sort of a mix of the two. I thought that might be pretty. So kind of like a one shadow look with the deeper shade, and then this other one I could just use as a highlight. And then this is the one called Last Night, and these shades look kind of unique here. This sort of dusty bluish gray, not a ton of blue in there, but you see what I mean? Just a tinge of it. And then this other shade is like a really soft taupe. So I thought that might be fun fun for sort of the one shadow look idea as well, but in a cooler direction. But guys, the textures on those are so super soft. If you've got some of these hanging around, definitely pull them out. And now some larger palettes. This is the one I used on my eyes today. I feel like this one never got enough love. The Urban Decay Backtalk palette. This, I mean, I thought the packaging was pretty brilliant. How they gave you basically a full blush palette and a full eye palette all together. There's this mirror in the middle that does come out if you wanted to just like hold it up real close, but it magnetizes in. This is what the colors look like. You've got a little bit of kind of brownish, warm brown going on, some rich berry colored shimmers, some nude shades over here. And so I've just got that going on my eyes today, and I remembered how much I like the tones. But then over here with the blushes, how pretty are these? This one called Double Take seems kind of matte. Everything else has some shimmer. This one is a really pretty kind of mauvey berry. Coordinates so well with the eyeshadows. And then you've got a couple of highlight shades in more of a peachy tone and more of like, I don't know, it looks kind of champagne-y colored. But I don't really feel like this palette got enough love from me, from just the masses in general. That is just, I don't know, a great idea, and I think it would be cool to see Urban Decay do that in some different tones and color families going forward. Also, I'm wearing this today. Remember this from the Balm, the highlight and contour palette? Kind of made it look like a tour, like music poster or something. And I thought, you know, this palette really has all of the face steps in it. You've got non-shimmery powders right here, 2 of those, 2 all-out great highlights, 3 tones of bronzer, a beautiful blush. I know I've used this before for eye looks, but my all-over setting powder on the T-zone today is this, you know, this non-shimmery powder. It went on great under the eyes on the T-zone. I've got on this as some highlight. This was a blush I originally had on that I put the Thrive on top of just now, and then kind of went back and forth between a couple of these contour shades. And it's a great palette. I'm not sure if they're still making it, but it's not something I feel like I want to part with right now, so I am going to keep it. Also from the Balm, something that I feel like I've barely used, this Girl Powder cute little palette that looks like a license plate. I really wasn't nuts about the eyeshadow palette that they put out in this format, but why am I not using these? These look so nice. You got your bronzer in there, couple of very different tones of blush with the peach and the mauve, and then this shimmery highlight here, which I don't see why I can't be using that. It's very compact, it's very cute, it's just been underused and now's its time. Oh, here's something I absolutely loved. This is from Laura Geller and it's the Get Ready and Go palette. I know I did a video on this, like doing a quick look with it, but it's so nice. It has that French vanilla highlight. Oh my gosh. I remember this from back in the day. It's that barely shimmery, just perfect amount of sheen. If you want a soft kind of like matte highlight, if that makes sense. This honeysuckle blush bronzer shade that's really kind of in between. It's got like bronzer sort of laced with a highlighter looking color and kind of a rosy shade in there as well. And then you've got this little duo baked eyeshadow. This would be a great, easy, just grab and go product. And I know I did use it actually quite a bit back in the day, but I want to get it out again. Also my Sigma Sculpt palette. I raved on this. I love this so much. Great textures on these contour slash bronzer type colors. You've also got a beautiful highlight, absolutely stunning, and this shade called Poppin'. I remember I would use that sometimes as a blush because it has that hint of rosiness to it and it really comes through on the cheeks. So nice pigmentation, nice smoothness, just beautiful quality. But this was a victim of just kind of getting shoved into an inconvenient location in the drawer. Has anybody ever done that before, where something just kind of got pushed to the back? It was not intentional. I didn't mean it, but it happened and it caused me to sort of forget about the product. Also a couple of eye palettes. I had talked about Viseart's Petite Pro in my last video where I was using their newest one that was just really bright, and I thought like not super practical. I didn't see myself wearing it a lot, but here's one of those Petite Pros that I do really like, that I think is very spring friendly. For some reason when I look at this I just think spring. Maybe it's all the green and all the blooms coming out, like those trees, the red bud trees that look almost exactly like that color, and all the trees are kind of coming back to life, and it made me want to pull this out again. This has been, I think, a little underused by me in comparison to maybe the first version. This is the Petite Pro 3 here that I'm holding. Also guys, Violet Voss, the Berry Burst palette. Yeah, I'm not letting this one go. How gorgeous. How gorgeous is that? And you know, it's really like 2 distinct color themes thrown together here. You've got your neutral browns and you've got the rosy shades, and the really, really rich rich, pigmented, beautiful berries, plus like this shiny color here, this sort of rose gold, so beautiful. It's like, you've been hiding from me, I need you out again. And then on the topic of what the heck are you, you were so underused. This palette from Bare Minerals, like I opened this up and I was just taken aback by the beauty of these pearly, really pretty highlighter kind of tones. I mean, they're so beautiful and they feel like really soft, and I don't know what happened with this. It's just not like in my memory bank. It says 6 shade mega highlighting palette. And I do kind of remember an eye palette that came out. This would have been a holiday type release and it had that sort of look with the stars across it. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to use that. And then as I was going through like shadow sticks, that was something where I was like, as a whole, I really want to use these more in general. So I wasn't going to pull out like each and every one to show you. But there was one shade from Laura Mercier that really stood out that I hadn't really remembered using at all. And this is the Caviar stick in the shade called Orchid. Who is familiar with this one? Like, I've definitely used Amethyst. It's more dusty, a little bit richer, but look at this pretty shade right here. Look at this lilac that's kind of like, I don't know, a slightly deepened lilac, super shimmery. And another thing that came to mind is I want to do like a video with a springy sort of lilac, really fun eye, and I've got exactly the palette to do it with. It's the Violet Voss Sweet Violet one. These kinds of tones, and I thought maybe working in this sort of eyeshadow stick with it might be really, really gorgeous. So that's my plan. I want to bring you that look. But thank you guys so much for watching. I could have gone further. It's not like, oh, these are the only things I'm not decluttering. Of course, there's more that's being kept in my collection, but just kind of an example of some of the things that really spoke to me and were like, no, I'm absolutely not letting you go. I want to use you more. My hair, does anybody else feel like my hair is growing really fast from that like nice little cut I had before? I feel like it's getting way longer than I want it to be now again, but that's probably the boat everyone's in right now. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you'd like to see more things like this, just kind of a casual, chatty, just talking about makeup we like. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.